Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Bloom, Group Publisher of Building Enclosure, and welcome to Enclosure Experts. It's such an honor to have with me today Stephen Shanks, who is the Vice President of Commissioning at Salas O'Brien, and Keith Simon, who is the Vice President of Design Phase Services at Salas O'Brien. Keith and Stephen, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely, Joe. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Good to be here as well.
Thank you. Yes, well, we are really excited to be having you guys join us on December 3rd for a great webinar we're going to be hosting. It's called The Evolving Landscape of Commercial Energy Efficiency. But just to kind of, to preface what attendees will be learning about, Stephen, let's start with you. What are a couple things that attendees will be able to learn when they come to this webinar in December?
Well, we're going to be looking at the evolution of 90.1 and the Energy Conservation Code requirements. ASHRAE set a goal a number of years ago that the commercial energy codes, and residential as well, but our focus is more commercial, will be moving towards net zero for commercial buildings by the 30s. So we're getting close to that. And as the codes have evolved, adoption hadn't always come as quickly. But through the Inflation Reduction Act, we've now had 2 rounds of funding that are supporting jurisdictions that want to adopt and implement new energy codes. And it's all over the country, from Florida to Louisiana, to up and down the East Coast, to out west, Illinois. So a number of jurisdictions that had, in some cases, been a few cycles behind in adoption have picked those up. So especially on the envelope side, and that's going to be part of the focus, because it seems like there's more confusion and anxiety around that. And part of what we hope to do in the webinar is create a less anxious approach to this. And that's, we're also going to be talking about enclosure commissioning in this. And that's because it provides a rational process from design through closeout, so that all the things that you're being required to do by the Commercial Energy Code, you've got a partner with you who's going to be managing those performance requirements from beginning to end.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, it's going to be fun to have both of you presenting. Keith, how about you? What are going to be some points that you'll be covering for everybody that they need to know about?
Well, I like that Stephen came up with the title, The Evolving Landscape of Commercial Energy Efficiency. I think that use of the term, the landscape of energy efficiency, is really important, because we tend to think of code requirements in the present, which are, of course, like what's required, how do I do it, which is important. But I think this presentation really puts that in context. How do we get to where we are? How have the codes been evolving up until this point, so that we understand them better, and also where we're going? And we'll look at the IECC and 90.1 and how they've gotten to this point right now, and where the goal is moving forward in the future. We've pulled a lot of information nationally, so that we can look at how it varies in different states across the country. And then the other thing that our presentation will do is there's a couple pieces within the code that have significant and really important changes. And 2 of those pieces are building enclosure commissioning and whole building air leakage testing. So we'll take kind of a deep dive into those 2 aspects of the world of commercial codes and energy efficiency.
Well, I love it. It's going to be great to dive into those codes and issues, and that everyone has a little bit of anxiety over, and give them some more information. And we're very grateful for all the time that you guys will be spending with us to educate the industry. So thank you very much for those insights, and we look forward to seeing you. If anybody has any questions, though, in the meantime, how do they find out more information about Salas O'Brien from you guys? Where do they go to find out more information?
Well, I think we both have pretty active LinkedIn accounts,
Okay.
and there's been a number of papers that we've worked on internally that we're sharing broadly with others in the built environment. So that's an easy way to engage and get caught up with some of what we're doing in terms of education to the market.
I love it. Well, thank you for being so active on LinkedIn so people can follow you. That would be awesome. And if anybody has any questions for us, it is buildingenclosureonline.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for all our free content, especially our e-newsletter, register for our website. Make sure you also follow us on all our social media channels so you can stay up to date on all the great webinars we are putting together, especially with Stephen and Keith. But most importantly, stay safe and healthy, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, gentlemen. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thanks, Joe.